we left off yesterday. We have everything wired up. We're gonna go ahead and throw the MAF sensor on the car, and then we should be able to start everything. But I wasn't sure if the orange and the red wire were in the correct position fully. I know they are at one of the power sources, at least one of the power sources going to the coil pack. Maybe this car only has that one power source is what I'm hoping, and hopefully everything is correct. So we are going to do a key on test. I'll show you guys how that works, and then we'll try and start the car after that, and we'll see if everything works as it should. If not, then we can kind of backtrack and see what other power wires I need to splice into that are going to the coil pack. So hopefully we are on the home stretch, and then we just have to tidy up wires and get everything finalized, and then we can start ripping the car and see what happens. So let me go ahead and put the MAF sensor back on and then plug in the negative terminal again, and then I'll show you guys what the box does. Alright guys, so we're gonna sit in the car, make sure we don't step on any of these wires. Ton of wires everywhere now. We can go ahead and we'll open up the software. So I actually think the software is pretty nice. So as you can see, you have launch control, global settings is where you can do the clutch invert and the throttle invert if you need to. In my car's case, we had to do the invert for the clutch, and then it'll, once you have the box plugged in, which we can do now. So we're gonna key on here. As you can see, that'll turn blue. It's got power, and then we can go ahead, plug it into the computer. It'll recognize it here in a little bit. What it says to do is, so we will find the clutch pedal and the gas pedal. So when we push it all the way down, rapid blinking, and then you push the clutch in, it'll stop for a second and then it'll proceed to blink. So what it was doing before was I would just put my foot on the gas and it would do that blink, 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 and then stop and then blink some more, and then I would push the clutch in and nothing would happen. So I was like, oh crap, something's wrong. So I would pull the wire out, solder it to the different wire on the clutch switch, thinking that that would fix it, and then it didn't fix it. So ended up having to do that like 3 times, and those wires are trashed now, but we're good now. So it's reading the data from this WOT box. So as you can see, it pulled up that we have it inverted. I set the rev limit at, or the launch control limit at 2800 just to start with, and then 550 milliseconds for the shift cut time. And yeah, it's really easy, and then you just press write if you make any changes, and it writes within like, it's probably like 2 seconds, and then you can go ahead and quit the application and then unplug it from the computer and you're good. So let's see what happens when we try to start the car, guys. Alright, so it starts. It's not liking something though. A little bit weird. We'll see if it clears up or not. Anyway, let's go foot down, and then we'll hit the clutch real quick. Yep, so that worked. That's so scary, guys. I was just waiting for it to backfire, but so foot all the way down and then clutch in. So I did that. And I guess now it's pretty good actually with the throttle stuff, so I don't know what that was. It works. That's exciting. That's freaking exciting, guys. I'm gonna kill myself, actually. The garage is closed. Oops. You guys almost watched me kill myself. So it works. I don't know if you could hear me. That's actually really exciting. I put this off for... I've been wanting to get a WOT box for a long time. I just didn't pull the trigger because I didn't want to cut into any of the wires or anything like that. But it really isn't that bad. So we're going to go over it for all the 2.0 owners that want to install a WOT box on their car, especially with the AZG. I'm not sure about the AEG because it has a 4-wire ignition coil. This one has like a 6-wire one, so it's a little bit different. But anyway, the big purple and black wire is what I spliced into, and that is the power for the ignition coil. Since it's a coil pack like this, it just only has one power going in, and then the rest are just signal wires on when to fire each coil, I would assume. Not 100% sure on how that works, but that was probably the hardest part. And then the negative for any of the fuel injectors, if you guys are wondering, it's the smaller wires. That's just an easy way to look at it. So number 4 fuel injector, I did it on the pigtail that I have replacements of, so I didn't have to mess with the factory harness. So I just teed in right here. So we're going to cover that with some heat shrink and some electrical tape. We will also have heat shrink on the orange and the red wire going here, and then we have the black loom kind of covering stuff on there, and then we're going to pull the excess wire that you see here back into the car and then zip tie it up, and it'll just be hanging out under the dash in kind of a loop like how it comes from the factory from N2MB Racing, kind of like, I don't know, tidied up like that. And then for in-car, the blue, or the white with the blue wire, white with the blue stripe, that is going to be for the throttle position, which is one of the middle wires. You guys will be able to find it pretty easy for the Volkswagens. And then for the clutch switch, red and white wire. And if it does anything weird, go into the software and try inverting the option, and that should help you out. Yeah, so later today I will get the car warmed up, and then we can try out the 2-step as well. I'm super excited for that. I put it way low for the first initial little bit. I don't want to hurt the car or do anything with it way up in the RPMs or mess with the turbo. I don't know. I just want to feel it out at a low RPM first, and then we'll raise it as we go. So yeah, it's really exciting. We'll get the car put back together here, and then later you guys will see the 2-step in action. Alright guys, so the car is outside warming up. We've got the car out here warming up. It's already sunset. I put this off till the end of the day, but I'll show you guys some 2-step action. So there was a little peak. It was a little bit better. I haven't stayed on it that long. I'm kind of freaked out still. But that's 2,500 RPMs. I've got the laptop sitting passenger. We're going to plug in the WOT box and get that all squared away. So firing up the windows. We have it just self-tappered. I use some of the Volkswagen self-tappers. Just right under the steering column here. Pretty out of the way. We can mess with the settings via the little button that is on it, but I kind of like using the software. It's kind of a cool look at things. Makes me feel like I'm a tuner or something crazy, so yeah, love that shit. So anyway, it is right here. When we go wide open throttle, starts blinking, clutch in, cut, and then back to blinking. And then to get 2-step, you would push clutch first and then gas, and it would be in 2 steps, so it would reach whatever RPM you set it at and rip. So we will go ahead, log in. 1 second. There. Blam. So we don't need to protect my PC. We don't care about that. WOT box software, and it brings up the software, and then we'll go ahead, plug in the WOT box itself via the USB plug that they supplied. If I can actually do this, sorry. Alright, so we are plugged in, and then you can go ahead and press, if it focuses, so we'll press read up top here, and it's reading the WOT box data, and so we have all that thing set, and yeah, so go ahead and fire up the car real quick. Alright, so 2,500 RPM, or actually 2,800, sorry. We'll just stab the clutch all the way down, and then wide open throttle. So that's that. We'll let my foot off the clutch, and then we can go 3,800 RPMs. So we change it in the software here. You guys can see that. So we changed it to 3,800 now, and then we can press right, and then it's just programming real quick. Boom, programming successful, and then we can go ahead. Oop. Of course, sometimes it does like this reset weird thing. So let's double check, make sure. Alright, so still had the inverted throttle. So like I said, we'll do 3,800 RPMs, and then right, programming, boom, successful, okay, and now we can do a 3,800 RPM. Nope, went past, so I don't know. Alright guys, so I figured it out in the software when I had to like kind of revert back to the OEM settings of the WOT box. It goes to the SRT4 signal, like the CPS is like the default. So I have to go to other fuel injector signal so it knows what RPM is actually going to be picking up. Otherwise it'll just blow right through. So that was my issue. So we can go ahead, click that. We have the clutch inverted still. That's the only weird thing. And then we can go to our RPM, and we'll set 3,000 for the other one. And then we'll press right, and programming, boom, successful. So it's that fast. And then we can go ahead, we will fire up the car again. Sorry neighbors, we're doing some tuning here. So now we can go ahead, stab the clutch, and as you guys could hear, held 3,000 RPMs. We can delete that, we'll go 2,000 RPMs, we'll press right, and then 2,000 RPMs too. super cool. So that's pretty cool. I'm really happy I pulled the trigger on this thing. Super cool. And shout out to my coworker. He actually got me to buy this one because he put one on his Mustang and gave me a little demo, showed me what it does. It's super sick. I've been looking at them for a while, but just afraid of like cutting important wires and stuff like that. So didn't really want to pull the trigger on it until I was like sure I wanted to go that route. And seems like it's going to make the car a lot more fun, make the content a lot better for you guys. You can see me two-step and stuff. So yeah, and then people at car meets that are always asking me to two-step, we can finally two-step for them. So pretty cool. We'll learn how to pop flames and do the no lift shift stuff and make this a benefit for the car rather than just noise. And yeah, it'll be cool for the next few videos for you guys. So see you guys in the next one, and thank you guys for watching. Peace.